And what about you, Miranda? Seeing anyone special?
Actually, no, but I am seeing a whole bunch of unspecial guys.
It's Sunday Morning on CBS. And here again is Jane Pauley.
Along with the weather, the campaign year is heating up in these United States. And what, you might wonder, does that have to do with Cynthia Nixon? Erin Moriarty of 48 Hours looks at the New York governor's race, where one challenger is no stranger to television.
Cynthia Nixon's face is instantly recognizable.
And is that a bad thing?
Thanks to that hit TV show, Sex and the City, and 40 years of appearing on stage and screen. But that may not help her win the role of a lifetime.
I'm Cynthia Nixon, and I'm running for governor of New York State.
Yes, the woman who once played Miranda Hobbs, the hard-driven lawyer, has now joined the ranks of the more than 36 women across the country who are running for their state's highest office.
Because what are we waiting around for? What are we waiting around for? There's no cavalry coming. We have to be the cavalry ourselves. We have to lead the charge.
Hi, how are you? I'm a big fan. Thank you.
It's a surprising change of career for a woman who didn't need one. 52-year-old Cynthia Nixon has won 2 Emmys, a Grammy, and 2 Tonys, one just last year for Best Featured Actress in the Broadway revival of The Little Foxes. She's been acting since she was 9, beginning with the game show To Tell the Truth, where her mother worked. At 12, she was cast in the feature film Little Darlings.
What is it that you liked about acting?
It's a wonderful piece of literature, but it's a piece of literature made flesh. But it's also a chance to try on different personalities and see different people's lives. And for me, particularly when I was an adolescent, it was a way to get all my powerful feelings out.
It also helped pay the bills. She was raised by her single mother in Manhattan after her parents' marriage broke up.
My dad had some real troubles, and our home could really be a scary place sometimes.
Was he abusive to your mom?
He was not physical, but a lot of screaming and a lot of crying and a lot of upset.
So when Nixon was 6, her mother walked out, taking her daughter with her.
For me, all the times in my life that I found the strength and courage to stand up, including now, are for what she showed me that I could do.
With her mother's encouragement, Nixon's career took off.
My name is Laurel, sir. I'm a maidservant.
Then, in 1998,
by the time you reach your mid-30s, you think, why should I settle?
along came Sex and the City, and 32-year-old Cynthia Nixon became a star.
Maybe I should just be honest and tell him what I'm really feeling, which is, what if somebody better comes along?
You gotta put a better spin on it than that.
We certainly could never have imagined the success and the popularity and the longevity, but I think it really was ahead of its time, and I think Miranda in particular was so ahead of her time.
You said that when you first took on the part of Miranda Hobbs, even you didn't really connect to her.
I loved Miranda. I loved Miranda from the get-go, but certainly she was far more confrontational than I was. She was far more of a kind of a gladiator. But I found that by the end of the show that I had definitely become more like her.
This is a time to stick our necks out, to remember where we came from. This is a time to be visible. This is a time to fight.
It all seems to have given her the drive to run for New York governor, taking on another Democrat, Andrew Cuomo, the two-term incumbent in the primary. In the most recent poll, however, he's more than 30 points ahead of her.
Everybody assumes that the bigger, more establishment, better funded candidate is the person who's got it in the bag. I wouldn't write me off so quickly. This race, as with so many of the races around the country, I think are really a fight for the soul of the Democratic Party. We need a Democratic Party that is giving people something to vote for, not just something to vote against. You can't just say, vote for me because I'm not Donald Trump.
Please welcome Cynthia Nixon.
Nixon's celebrity does get her more attention than a lot of other first-time candidates, but it hasn't saved her from tough questions.
No offense, but you do not have experience in public office. Should governor of New York be the first job you have?
While Nixon has worked for years as a public school activist, she has never held public office.
If you really want to make change, shouldn't you start on a more accessible office? Why governor? That's
because the governor is what's wrong with New York State.
But how are you going to pull this miracle off? You don't have the money. You don't have the polls right now. How?
It is totally a David and Goliath thing. That's absolutely true. But we've got 3 months. And if you look how far we've come in the 3 months that since I've started running, we just need to keep talking about the issues.
If Nixon could pull off an upset, she would not only become the first female, but also the first gay governor of New York State. She's married to Christine Marinoni, a woman she met when she first became involved with public education advocacy.
You had never dated women, had you?
No, I never had.
When did you realize that you were falling for Christine?
Well, I had such admiration for her from the very beginning. But, you know, there was a lot going on in my life. I was doing Sex and the City. I was raising my family. And it wasn't really until we weren't married, but my relationship with my children's father broke up, and I was at such a low point that she was there for me in an incredible way.
The two have a young son, Nixon's third child, and they share a home filled with reminders of the world she left behind.
It's not hard to put this behind you. This has been your life.
You know, look at Glenda Jackson. I mean, she served in Parliament for, 23 years? Look, she's back on Broadway, just won a Best Actress Tony. People can have a lot of careers in their life.
This time around, Cynthia Nixon has chosen to write her own script for a role she says she's ready to play.
Women have as much right to lead as anybody, and our voices have been too few and far between. And it's why I'm so inspired by all the women who are running for office for the first time. It's one of the things that really clinched my decision to run, too.